Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Raw Talk, where we give zero F's over here. Today, we are here to talk about no other than the scum of all scums. As a matter of fact, we're here to talk about, in my opinion, one of the most disgusting individuals walking planet Earth. We are here to talk about the slime ball of all slime balls. We're here to talk about no other than the scum, Stephan Stearns. Now, for those who don't know who Stephan Stearns is, he is a chomo. Not only is he a chomo, but he is a chomo who took advantage of a little girl all throughout her life, ultimately until the age of 13, where he took her from us. Not only did he take her from us, but he took her innocence in the process. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this individual is the bottom of the barrel. We are here to talk about where he is at and what's going on with this disgusting chomo. So, for those that don't know, my name is Pino. I've spent over 10 years incarcerated in the state of Florida, numerous institutions, numerous jails, prisons, different times. 3 years on one bid, 7 years on another. Spent a lot of my adolescent life incarcerated. And I enjoy speaking on true crime and anything that has to do with true crime, criminality, and anything that has to do with the criminal underworld in general. We speak on it over here in Raw Talk. Now, today we're here to talk about Mr. Stephan Stearns. Stephan Stearns was moved this morning, early morning. Pack it up. They told Stephan get on a bus and they sent him to Appalachia Correctional Institution East Unit. So for those that don't know who Pino is, I actually got released from Appalachia Corrections East Unit. Stephan Stearns is currently housed on administrative confinement, which is protective management. For those that don't know, administrative confinement houses protective management, and protective management is a form of protection. It is not permanent protection, it is temporary protection. And this morning, he was transferred from Central Florida Reception Center to Appalachia Correctional Institution. He remains in administrative confinement under protective management. However, that can change within the next 72 hours. So Mr. Stephan Stearns is on administrative confinement. But like I said, within 72 hours, he can be released. He is at his permanent camp now. He is no longer in reception. He is at Appalachia Correctional Institution, which in my opinion is one of the most dangerous prisons in the state of Florida. When I was at Appalachia Correctional Institution, majority of the compound was either gang members, psych patients, or gays. Now, I did reach out to a source, somebody who I was incarcerated with at Appalachia Correctional Institution. And they do say that word is being passed around, and the predators have their antennas up. See, Mr. Stephan Stearns cannot remain in confinement his whole time. It was all right. He checked into protective management at Central Florida Reception Center. And it's only right when he gets transferred, he'll still be in confinement at Appalachia Correctional Institution. But what I know about Appalachia Correctional Institution is they won't keep you in confinement forever. He has about 72 hours before classification goes over his file and decides to send him to no other than our dorm. And if you don't know what our dorm is, it is a closed custody dorm. Almost everybody, I spent majority of my time in our dorm, in R3 to be exact, and almost everybody in our dorm has a life sentence. As a matter of fact, when I was at Appalachia Correctional Institution, 90% of the compound had a knife. There was even a gang of homosexuals on the compound called the OKs, and they will end your life just as fast as a Blood or a Crip. Now, where does this put Stephan Stearns? Like I said, I talked to an inside source at Appalachia Correctional Institution, and they do say that the predators are waiting on Stephan Stearns. Now, is Stephan Stearns the only chomo at Appalachian Correction Institution? Absolutely not. He's not. See, there are other chomos at Appalachian Correctional Institution, such as this guy right here. And if you read this guy's charges, they are completely disgusting, as well as this guy who is sentenced to 25 mandatory for charges that are unspeakable. Now, will Stephan Stearns fall into a line and maybe be able to do his time like these two individuals? That is a possibility, because with every prison, there's always that one dorm that they consider a safe dorm, whether it be, you know, a faith-based dorm, or whether it may be an honorary dorm or a trustee dorm or a dorm where a lot of orderlies work, like the canteen orderly, the maintenance orderly. Is this a possibility that Stephan Stearns will land in this dorm? Yes, but it all depends on classification. See, if classification decides that he is not eligible for one of these dorms, what's going to happen is they're going to put him in our dorm, and I can guarantee you Stephan Stearns will be somebody's wife within a month time frame. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is, you know, it's a whole nother world in there. It's a whole nother world. And there are corrupt officers at Appalachian Correctional Institution. Will one of these corrupt officers pass the word around? Maybe, maybe not. But what I do know is we have an inside source over here at Raw Talk who is currently incarcerated at Appalachian Correctional Institution. That's how I managed to find these other two chomos who are currently being protected in an honorary dorm. But see, Stephan's a little different than these two chomos. We heard Stephan's case. We know the atrocities of Stephan Stearns. We know the evil behind him. And you better believe over here at Raw Talk, Pino has passed the word to an inmate at Appalachian Correctional Institution. Like I said, I finished my time at Appalachian Correctional Institution. My last year and a half was spent at ACI, where Stephan Stearns is currently housed. See, he's currently housed right now in confinement. And in confinement at ACI, it's a little bit different. See, in confinement, people can talk at ACI. And no, I'm not talking about talking through the vent. I'm not talking about sliding notes through a fishing line. I am talking about through the bars, just like this. People can talk. And it's only a matter of time before the word is spread all around the prison of the atrocities that Stephan Stearns committed. And like I said, I talked to somebody on the inside, and they said that the predators do have their antennas up. The word is being passed around. And for those, like I said, that don't know, prison is a whole different world. Yes, there are predators walking in prison. There are men with 2 to 3 life sentences who are never getting out, who are looking for their next girlfriend. And ultimately, Stephan has been picked up as a target. Now, we will see what happens within the next 3 days. I give it about 72 hours. He just arrived at Appalachian Correctional Institution East Unit this morning. He is still currently in confinement under protective management on administrative confinement. But like I said, that does not last long. There is no such thing as permanent protection in the state of Florida. They will review his file. They will see that he got sent from CFRC, which is Central Florida Reception Center, in administrative confinement protection, to Appalachian Corrections protection. So what's going to happen is ultimately they're going to deem him safe for the compound, because they're going to look at his file. They're going to see that he has no keep separates on this compound. Nobody apparently knows who Stephan is on this compound, but little do they know. Now, we can only pray that something will happen to this disgusting individual within the next few days, but I will keep you updated. Believe me, over here at Raw Talk, like I said, we do have an inside source at Appalachian Correctional Institution. and we will have the updates. Because ultimately, over here on Raw Talk, we are hoping for Stephen Stern's ultimate demise. We are hoping that he becomes a prison wife. We are hoping that he gets everything he deserves times 10. There is no amount of pain you can instill upon this person that will make it better for the victim that was lost in this case. Because ultimately, this wasn't just a victim, this was a innocent child. So nothing could ever repay you. I can only hope that you wind up at ACI, and just like the movie Little Nicky, they start sticking pineapples up your rear. I can only hope that that's what happens. They treat you like they treated Hitler and Little Nicky. That was another episode of Raw Talk where we give 0 Fs. I need y'all to do me a solid, smash that like on the way out. And for constant updates and for exclusive content, behind the scenes content, and fast responses, make sure you join up with the membership only. It's been real, y'all. Love. We will keep you updated over here at Raw Talk.